Hey, this is Scott. So, welcome back to my video series that covers this book, The Executive Guide to AI and Analytics. I hope you join me for EG00, where I covered the intentions and the outline for this video series. This essentially is what we've covered so far and where we're headed. Today is about execution is integral to strategy, and I'm going to be doing quite a few of these. Let's go ahead and get started with this one. So, execution is integral to strategy. So let's look at some of the pieces here. First off, execution is a discipline. It needs to be a practice. Moreover, it needs to become a habit. So don't mistake execution as operational. Um, it's not. And don't confuse execution with tactics. Execution is fundamental to strategy, and it really has to shape it. But there's no worthwhile strategy that can be planned without taking into account the organization's ability to execute it, right? All right, we've said it before. Even if you have the most beautiful strategy whatsoever, if you can't execute it, it's worthless. And vice versa, so you need both, and you have to align both uh, strategy, which is the what, along with the execution, which is how you're going to get there. So execution is integral to strategy. Strategy says what, but how, okay? And that's where the execution come in. That execution is the how, and execution is based upon set of processes and systems. So, you might start out with something that's very high level. One of your strategies might be growth, etc. Very, very common. Execution breaks down to these three systems, right? And there's really a fundamental way to break down execution and exposing the truth of or reality and acting upon that reality. But most companies really don't face the truth very well. They tend to cover up what their abilities are, and often miss the aims that they're going towards, because they miscalculate. And that's really the primary reason that many have missed the mark at successfully implementing AI and analytics programs. So again, the heart of execution lies in these three core systems: systems of people, systems of strategy, and systems of operation. And every organization uses these systems in one form or another. However, most organizations treat them as independent silos, and this is where the big mistake occurs. They're not individual silos. They have to be treated as interconnected pieces of the larger system. So, if you've been listening, you know I love quotes, and I'm a big Jim Collins fan. So this is a quote by Jim Collins. And so there is no correlation between consensus decision and intelligent decisions. In the history of corporate history, most great decisions are made when there's still substantial disagreement in the air. And so, love that quote. He's wrote Good to Great and several other books, and I highly recommend him. And great decisions are taken without the need of consensus, right? The culture is one of the correct culture, the culture that you want to enable, is a culture of disagreement, dialogue, debate, argument, pounding on the tables, whatever it takes, that leads to a point of clarity, and then in a corporate setting is followed by executive decisions and cemented with a unified commitment behind it. That's the pattern that tends to correlate with better results, not consensus. All right, just a few bullet points, what you need to be asking. So these are the incisive questions. Who will do the job? How will it be judged? Who will be held accountable? What resources, human, technical, and financial resources, are going to be needed to execute the strategy? Will the organization have the right resources 2 years out when the strategy rises to the next level? Can the strategy deliver the expected results or return on investment? How will success be measured? And can it be broken down into achievable initiatives? And finally, we'll wrap there. And again, just ways to connect. If you're interested in other content that we've created, you can go on Amazon or YouTube or my website. And I hope to see you next time.